Before we get into the show, I want to start off with this particular clip. This is something I got from Instagram. As you can see in the middle there's this woman who writes, Carly Steele, Oregon is taking a stand for all of us with a clappy situation. And then someone else above her writes, let's be clear, you don't have to like Colorado, Coach Prime, but comments like these prove there's more to this conversation than just football. Going back down to the more than 9,000 likes, says cheering against Colorado is fine. That's football. Trash talk's part of the game too, but comments like these say a lot more, and it ain't about football. As a Ducks fan, taking stand for what? The hell is she even talking about? What did Coach Prime Colorado say or even do that was so offensive to the rest of America? Being confident in his team, yada, yada, yada. We'll get into it. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, it's your boy Captain Hunter coming at you again. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really, really appreciate it. Please make sure that you do me a favor. What is that? Hit that rate, subscribe, and share button. Hit that rate, subscribe, and share button. Hit that rate, subscribe, and share button. Let's make it do what it's got to do. Getting new subscribers all the time. Getting more views, and I really, really appreciate it. Let's keep up the good work. Over here, what we're trying to do, we're trying to make men the best versions of themselves that they can be, trying to learn from each other, trying to encourage each other, trying to uplift each other, and trying to make it do what it's got to do, right? Growing and going. Growing and going. So as we get into today's topic, right? So I wanted to talk about Deion Sanders' press conference that he had. Wanted to talk about Deion Sanders' press conference that he had. We all know that Deion Sanders, now the head coach of the University of Colorado Buffaloes, has gone 3-0. Recently, they lost their first game to the Oregon University or Ducks. And lost handily, right? I've been a Duck fan for a long time. Their wacky offenses and different types of uniforms. I've been a Duck fan for a long time. When I used to play college football, people would often play Madden. I would play college football, and I would choose the Ducks or somebody else just because of their funky offenses and things. Even though I haven't watched football in a while. Anyway, I digress. So I wanted to talk about that, but before I get into how I think that Deion Sanders handled the situation, which I think he handled the situation well. And we'll go through that in a minute. We'll go through his press conference. But we got to look at this amount of fanfare that's been going on. And, we want to believe, I think that we want to believe that it is a past issue concerning race in this country. There are more and more interracial relationships. Of course, we had a black president. There was some incident that I remember watching, and it was something catastrophic that was going on. I mean, it's something catastrophic for the United States. It wasn't 9/11 level or anything like that, but it was certainly something that was catastrophic. And I can remember them. I don't remember what it was though. That's going to bother me. But anyway, I can remember CNN having on what seemed to me almost every black mayor in the country. Right, every time you turn around, there was some black mayor from Indiana and Mississippi and all over, just talking about whatever this incident was. It was quite incredible. So my point is we've had black presidents, black president. We have I'm going to call her a woman of color as the vice president. We've had one or two black mayors. Black governors and town council members. We got black superintendents all over the place. My LinkedIn page is constantly showing black chiefs of police being sworn in. So black people are certainly on the rise. And I can remember that there's a woman, I'll try to get her picture up here. So this sister right here, her name is Carol Anderson. She's an Emory University professor, and she wrote a book, White Rage, The Unspoken Truth of Our Racial Divide. She does a lot of talks. You can find her talks on YouTube. And in my estimation, does a really, really wonderful job concerning talking about the white rage and backlash that has happened anytime that black progress has been made. We talk about civil rights, a right to vote, progress economically in all the towns, that were burned down, all that kind of stuff. She does a phenomenal job. Really, really high. Suggest that individuals go out there and check out her videos. So here we see this again, and I want to really get to the meat of this, because I did not wake up today saying I was going to talk about this particular situation. But what I wanted to talk about was Deion Sanders' handling of the situation. But before I get to that, we got to talk about the elephant in the room and this situation that is going on concerning people who are glad or want to see him fail. Want to see Deion Sanders fail. And so I got to give the credit to this, and we got to talk about what's going on with this particular aspect of what's going on. So we're going to play a video, and I don't know how much of this we'll be able to see or hear, but we're going to play a video. This is a guy, I believe he's passed away now, Jimmy the Greek, said this, I think, in the 1980s, concerning blacks coaching, things along those lines. So let's take a listen to what he had to say about black people coaching.
I have to equalize it for the blacks, for the Greeks, the Jews, and for everybody. I mean, let's make it equal for everybody, you know.
And is it equal? What about in sports?
Well, they've got everything. If they take over coaching like everybody wants them to, there's not going to be anything left for the white people. I mean, all the players are black. I mean, the only thing that the whites control is the coaching jobs. Now, I'm not being derogatory about it, but that's all that's left for them. The black talent is beautiful. It's great. It's out there. So the only thing left for the whites is a couple coaching jobs.
Yeah, maybe we need to get more black coaches, doesn't it?
Oh, it's all right with me.
Okay, well,
I'm sure that they'll take over that pretty soon, too.
WRC was apparently flooded with complaint calls after the Snyder comments were aired. Snyder issued an apology saying he was truly sorry for anything he said.
So I'm not exactly sure as to why they would get flooded with complaints apologizing. Seems to me it was a very honest assessment of the situation that was going on. Let's make it equal for everyone, and if black people happen to be the best coaches, then let's make them the best. Let's make them the coach. That has not been the case, and we all recognize that. So then there was another show fairly recent. So let's play that. Let's play the clip from Deion Sanders, from Tariq Nasheed. Let's play the clip from Tariq Nasheed, in which a caller calls in admitting that this is problematic for them on a number of different venues.
Success as a black man.
Yes, I want Deion to market everything he can and make every dime he can.
I mean, it's not just that. It's just the whole thing. It's all about. It really is. There's no other program.
I swear, y'all hate to see a competent black person who ain't bowing down, who's winning. Why do y'all hate that so much?
Because it makes us insecure that we can't do it the same way he can.
Thank you. Thank you. But that's a you problem. At least say, I'm glad you're being honest, but that's a you problem.
I know, but when we see a black man shining, it just like tears us down, because that's like all we have left is the coaches.
I know that.
All right, so we heard that situation, right? It's the whole thing, right? And obviously, I don't think that everyone thinks like that. I don't think that every single white person thinks like that. But this is a problem. There is still a strain of individuals who don't want to see his progress. As Carol Anderson said, there's still a strain of individuals who are mad when we get coaching positions or excel and shine and do it in a manner that is seen to be unprofessional, that seem to be in a manner that is flashy and too much for some individuals.
You know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look good.
And I resent that. I reject that. And, that needs to be called out for what it is, not just the acquisition of getting a job, because let's face it, there was always this stigma that black people aren't smart enough to be quarterbacks, first of all. And then there's the stigma that black people weren't smart enough, obviously, to be coaches. And as Jimmy the Greek said, if any individuals, given the opportunity, right, if they shine, then what's left for certain other individuals? Well, we have to have an open competitive market, and we have to be able to go forth in those manners the way that we can, right? So let's make the competition open and fair, and let's see where we fall. So that's it. So that's what I want to say about that. I may break this up into two different episodes. I'm not exactly sure yet. But let's take a look at how Deion Sanders, after his loss, right? How can we improve ourselves and be better, right? Not only a loss, but it was a trouncing. I knew it was going to be a trouncing because I hardly ever watch college football. I said to myself, let me see what all the hype is about. Let me sit down and watch this game. It's a blowout. It's a blowout. But let's take a look and see how Deion Sanders handles his self in this situation here in which he and his team were just blown out.
We got stats? We don't know them yet? First and foremost, thank the Lord for allowing all this to transpire. It's a good old-fashioned butt kicking.
I find it comical when people want to thank the Lord for the good old-fashioned butt kickings that they got. But okay, whatever.
No excuses, no nothing. Their coaches did a heck of a job preparing their team. Obviously, we didn't. That was good. I mean, that was a really good old-fashioned butt kicking. We went into the game wanting to dominate several phases. We lost offensively, defensively, as well as special teams. That fake punt kind of got them really rolling, and they didn't stop ever since they secured that first down. Well-coached team. Bo Nix played his butt off. Defensively, they presented some things that I guess we just couldn't get around. We couldn't advance the ball, rushing or throwing the ball as well. Seemed like they had our number. But
so first thing you got to do is, as a man of any persuasion or whatever, first thing you got to do is just take responsibility. You got to look at yourself. You can't look at other people. Can't place the blame on other individuals. You have to take a look at yourself, right? I quote this all the time. I don't know if it actually came from the Nation of Islam's Elijah Muhammad, but it's a quote that I heard attributed to him, saying, before we look at other people, you have to take a look at yourself. And that's what Deion is looking at himself, right? Number one is we weren't coached very well. We failed at the different aspects of the game, offensively, defensively, and special teams. You give others credit for what they did right, and just try to do better the next time, right? So first thing you got to do is take credit for yourself. Second thing is got to analyze, take credit and responsibility for yourself. And then second thing is you have to give credit where it's due, and recognize that the other team just outplayed you. The other person who went for the job was just more qualified. The person who was able to sell more products had a better marketing scheme. The person who was able to buy a house or buy a car had better savings acuity. They had better discipline. They were able to lose weight, get bigger, because of their diet and discipline. Whatever it is, you have to take responsibility for yourself and say, I'm slacking somewhere. The other person is on their game and on their grind, and they're doing a much better job. So those are some of the biggest things that we can learn from this particular press conference that Deion is having with the individuals, right? More questions are going to be asked. We're not going to go through this whole thing because I spent a lot of time talking about what led up to this, and the failures that were coming on, but all that.
hats off to their coaching staff, to their head coach. Great job, and they're truly prepared. How you doing, Ariel?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Excellent.
We did good old-fashioned butt kicking like that. Wipe the slate clean.
No, you can't wipe the slate clean. You got to watch the film and evaluate. I'll do that on the plane, but I saw a lot of it live. Just players that weren't in position, that didn't do the job that we expected. You evaluate players, you evaluate coaches, you evaluate everything when it's a game of that nature. And you had no opportunity to win, period, from the kickoff on.
I appreciate that answer. You don't wipe the slate clean, right? There's the idea that you dust yourself off, you pick yourself up, and you keep going. No, you have to learn from your mistakes. You have to analyze your mistakes. And something that I heard very, very recently, good piece of information, was sometimes you have to carry those bruises. Sometimes you have to carry those scars because they are reminders of the past incidents and things that happened to you along the way. And everything should be a learning experience, right? There was another saying that I had was, I don't ever lose, I only learn. sometimes those lessons, as Deion had in this particular situation, was a very, very big and unfortunate lesson for himself and for the team. Was humbling, right? They're not as good as they probably thought they were, and this might have got them down. But you can't let it get you down and keep you down. You learn from your mistakes. You analyze the tape. You go through the coaching sessions. You get better. You get better. You improve. You get better. You lose. You fall down again, and then you get better. And that's part of the process. It's part of the process about getting better. So I am going to leave it off right there because I don't want to make this too long. But well, you can watch the full interview. I'm sure many of us had. He takes responsibility and takes the blame for himself, as well as crediting your competitors, right? So if you want to, sometimes you have to analyze what your competitors are doing. And we'll leave that off at the third point, right? First point, take responsibility and or credit when it's due to you. Take responsibility. Second is to take a look at your competition, analyze and give them the credit for what they did right and what they did wrong. And then third, learn from your mistakes, learn from your competition, learn what you need to do right, what you did right, what you did wrong. Take your lumps, take your bumps, learn from the scars, learn from the marks, and to be determined to make yourself a better person, whether it's getting into the gym, whether it's opening up a business, whether it's going for a promotion, whether it's getting a job. No matter what it is that you're doing, just learn from your mistakes and keep on keeping on. With that, much love and peace, everyone.